Built by Keith, number 1200. This is the most famous video of all time, showing how Evote.one reverses the course of the Lucifer worshippers. It's all based upon we pick the project, we pick every leader in the world. This is the site of a $40 billion robbery. 1201, built by Keith. Again, we've been asking to speak with all world leaders, all presidents, literally everyone. We're not afraid of anyone like you are. We're the wealthiest person in the world that no one knows about. Fortune1.org. We've already created a new world to stabilize the economy with Evote.one. The database is FOIA.ONE, to create positive, independent, sovereign citizens of you, we, God's people, 8.2 billion people now unified as one community. You'll have your own free education, your own unlimited internet connectivity, peer-to-peer communication. Everyone's going to learn to work together and stop causing all the wars, all the conflicts, by using 5steps.life. You see, right now the world is in the middle of World War IV.org. We are the number one top, most humble experts on using technology to fill up stadiums full of people. PeaceSummit2020.com, which is now PeaceSummit2025.com, as we demand all leaders sign peace treaties. Stop fighting each other, because we, the people, are sick and tired of nobody actually doing their job of supporting the people who gave them authority in the first place. That's the end result of everything else. Serial entrepreneurship is what's always motivated the world to move forward and not backwards, like they're currently doing right now. Everyone's backpedaling, and no one has any solution at all to resolve problems, conflicts, wars, and all the bad, nasty things that are happening. So hats off to everybody who supports and protects my life. KeithBrentDuncan.org. This alone is the end result of 66.4 years worth of solving problems, because I work with God and Mother Earth, because none of you do. You're all too concerned about yourself, and that's exactly what the criminal ruling elite want. Just watch Dogman, and basically it's an empty theater. We're going to fill up theaters all over the world. That's my number one mission, is host mediating town hall forums, and to teach the world that they have a moral responsibility to solve their own internal problem, family problems, community problems. Then we don't need government. We definitely will no longer have stock market, bankers, banksters, brokesters, all these people that claim they are the only ones to trust, when in fact a high percentage of them, called criminal ruling elite, already control the databases of the world. And I have the one system all the way. Everything goes back to 1976, North Carolina State University, when God sent me to college to learn about human psychology, philosophy, theology. We are the number one masters of all expertise, with rare exceptions. Call us and get Governor Brian Kemp to meet with us, with President Trump and Elon Musk and the few other great leaders who actually care about we the people. We're sick and tired of being told that we're nobody, and the U.S. government, at 140 number people, tried to kill us multiple times with 4 TPOs from Sherry Duncan, in conspiracy with Doug Duncan, Robert D. Rose, who's a cyber criminal terrorist still at large with a more than $2 million bounty. It's actually a bigger bounty. And the 4th person was Miss Bashama and Wendell Carraway group. They all filed 4 TPOs after physically defrauding and robbing you of Unocracy.org, the world's only non-government, non-politics, crime-free, debt-free, drama-free utopia of Unocracy.org. Call us today and protect our lives, because we're sick and tired of being told that we're not the number one overseer leader of all the Fortune 1000 companies. That's Fortune 1. We're moving from Atlanta to Asheville as quick as we can, but we're still limited on funds because everything was done to blacklist us by Robert D. Rose and a few very key, very wealthy, what you think are powerful prosecutors is what they're called. And they've been persecuting you and me for the last, it goes back 6,000 years, but it really went extreme in the 1880s in America with J.P. Morgan and his crew, who monopolized everything and legalized all the vice, sin, and crimes of the world. Now we use the churches and the civic groups for the first place to take people of greatest need. That you can find, of course, with solutionlawenforcement.com and no more military wars. Once solutionmilitary.com becomes your new standard of godsconstitution.com and solutionmanifesto.com, which points to the same one constitution of Evote.one, Article 2's the 11 Commandments, and Article 3 is the world's last original human God Bill of Rights. We get rid of all the mad man-made laws forever. It's a cancel restraining order that I've repeated for now, it's 14 years. Cobb County canceled TPO, which means dismissed, 11.1.1171, July 15th by Cobb County District Attorney Patrick Head, Grady Moore, and my own lawyer, Barry Victor Reynolds. So therefore, there was no any reason. There was no reason to have me kidnapped October 3rd, 2011, when I was forced into hell 848 days, which is $5,000 per day. And the USA government has always paid. We pay them to protect victims of organized criminals. I don't like to use the word victim, but I'm 100% victimized by my own family. This is the old prayer tower. My money actually built a majority of this church because, including the rec center, this building number B, and this is Jay Hackett is the pastor, and Dr. David Shaw knew, along with Harvey Snyder and all my deacon buddies, and they did nothing except, we're not interested that you're a victim of organized criminals. We're only interested in preaching the gospel. Well, excuse me, they're not preaching it. Well, they might be preaching it, but they're not fulfilling godsconstitution.org. Everyone has stolen literally $40 billion of Fortune1.org, which is a record number for someone who spent his whole life working with God, solving every major problem in the world. Name the problem. We have done the can I say unforgivable? No, we have done the exact, impeccable, most trusted, integrity, ethical method of unifying the world with Evote.one. ChristDomain.org is a $50 million seed fund. There'll be much more after that, to pay any church to do outreach ministry, which I'm happy to do on Sunday, Martin Luther King work day at my primary church. Anybody can call anybody at this point and understand that we were the wealthiest person in world history. I feel so much like Monk and King Solomon and Jesus Christ of being persecuted, like Job. You go read Job 49-14, and you'll see what happened to me was that my entire family decided to, well, the old phrase is screw the pooch. They knew I was worth $40 billion. They knew I was worth at least $50 million, but my cash was only $1.2 million, so they cleaned out my bank accounts, sold off my cars, particularly my computers, my patents, my lifetime 50 years worth of work from 1972 forward. Just call us direct. Protect our lives, because we've been asking the USA government, the churches, and the corporations to protect our lives. In fact, we even met Richard Kirby today. His wife, of all people, Robin Kirby, well, we went to her as a psychologist, because we had a most difficult time dealing with our ex-wife, Sherry Duncan, who ordered that we be killed. I'm just using the absolute words, and everyone's also sensitive to the words cybercrime, terrorism, enemies of the state, politics, wars. They don't want to hear a damn thing except, oh, I got my money, I got my paycheck, hand-to-mouth syndrome. That's why greed is the #1 problem around the world. We've reversed it with 5steps.life and Evote.one, with an open public database that's very unique, FOIA.ONE, which is a singular top database in the entire world. Think of this as at the top up here, that connects to all the other databases of the world. This is the prayer tower, where I spent so much time as a deacon from 1996 forward, teaching the world that we're going to replace every known violator of God's Constitution once and forever, and actually live in only middle class. No one's allowed to go in debt. Well, that's reinvestall.com, and the end result has always been futurecity.life. Who doesn't want to live in a country club environment? Across the street was the YMCA that we helped build. In fact, I paid to help build the ballpark across here, recreation. Don't need to say any more except protect my life. And the first lowest hanging fruit is $4.2 million of insurance policies. Hartford, Genworth, Progressive, and Nationwide, because every time I file the documents, DuncanClaim.org, I'm told 6 months later or longer, oh, we deny your claim. We can't determine that you ever lived, that you ever existed. I said, excuse me, I'm known by tens of thousands of people here in Atlanta, up and down the East Coast, but really specifically, National Speakers Association, CEO Space, High Tech Ministries, and the people in the Philippines are begging me to come back. But I have to bring millions and billions of dollars of American money that I have recovered through DuncanClaim.org as a seed fund to build futurecity.life. See, that's my whole lifetime focus, is working with God to solve every major problem in the world, which is food, energy, agriculture, water, housing, solutionbusiness.org. It's all about PeaceSummit2025.com town hall forums. We're the only group that hosts mediate all world leaders to stop waging war and to stabilize our economy using kbitcoins.org. Single international currency that's really just credits and debits. I call it K-credits, K-debits. Gets rid of bitcoins, foreign exchange. It gets rid of day traders. Like one of my old friends was Philip. Oh, his name was Philip. What was his last name? I almost forgot it. Scott Phillips. Scott Phillips was into day trading with his son, Scott Jr. And all these people denied that I ever existed. And yet I'm the wealthiest person in the world. So I guess I'll have to go offline again, because people are getting beyond lunatic crazy like my current roommate. God, he threatens me. The sink has some dirt in it. Oh my God, the end of the world is occurring. Gets worse. Your world gets worse, which is why we talk about end times and spiritual warfare, which is why I'm moving $40 billion company up to Asheville, North Carolina. In fact, I can move it anywhere in the world because I own it. I procreated it as CreatorKeith.com, which is registered, now Fortune1.org. Never happens again. If someone violates your rights, Article 3 of this one publication, and there's our news group. It's now usnews1.org, and that describes on the back panel exactly what this is. And the big one is the PeaceSummit2020.com. At one time, will we the people decide to live as peacemaking, problem-solving? This document implicates everyone, including Ross Grisham of Canton on Norfolk, Virginia 411 CR 112. This implicates the public pretender Phoenix Harris forever. 1171 was dismissed July 15th.